Welcome back to the Highway to Health. I'm Jason Dahl, and it's day 17 of the Charter Health Tour, and what a stretch of road it's been. Sean, Teresa, and the world's greatest health van just completed an incredible 13-and-a-half-hour drive from Winnipeg, Manitoba, all the way to Bruce Mines, Ontario, where they're broadcasting from this morning. The trip wasn't easy. There were long stretches of bad weather, fog, and narrow, winding highways that tested both nerves and faith. But there were also incredible moments of beauty along the way. Reminders of why this tour matters and how powerful this mission has become.
So this is just more updates from the road here. We have some very exciting news because we also have, of course, our van. And if you look right back there, that is a semi pulling the van as well. So
a
now
bus.
A bus. Oh, right, a bus, not a van. So we now have going to Ottawa
Well, we're all going east, so clearly they're going to the event in Ottawa.
Yeah, so we got the Audi, the red Audi, and now we've got the bus being pulled by the semi. So this is all very, very exciting. And on behalf of the NHPPA, we'd like you to go to our website and sign up for a newsletter. Okay, so this is very exciting, Sean. Very, very exciting because, we have the health charter van. You can see that we're pulling in our trailer. And look, he's coming. Look who else is going to Ottawa. Somebody else.
A bus on the trailer.
Somebody else is towing their bus on a trailer to go to Ottawa.
Well, I think what's happening is
this is so
people
exciting.
understand that this event on the Hill on October 25th is a historic event. And because we're towing our bus on a trailer, they're wanting their buses there in pristine shape. They don't want to be putting any mileage on their bus. So I expect we're just going to see buses and vehicles being trailered to Ottawa for the event so that they're in the best condition they can possibly be. What other explanation could there be? So
So there we go. We've got the health charter van, and we've got a bus, and then you can see that red Audi.
yeah, but he has a trick with the great health charter deckers. It's going to look great when he does that.
There we go. Winnipeg, here we come. Well, this is very, very, very exciting here at the NHPPA road crew. We have spotted another vehicle on a trailer headed east. What do you think about that, Mr. Buckley?
Well, clearly he's going to Ottawa to be at the charter event on the Hill on October 25th at 1 p.m. because we're towing a vehicle on a trailer. He's towing a vehicle on the trailer. What other explanation could there be? We're looking forward for you guys to be putting vehicles on trailers and joining us on Parliament Hill on October 25th.
At what time, Mr. Buckley?
1 p.m. for the historic event. And it will be a historical event. Third largest paper petition in Canadian history. It's unlikely the other two were delivered personally on the Hill. So this is quite incredible.
Did we send out a notification to MPs? Are we going to be doing that? Asking them to join us?
Well, I think we are, but the trick is if we email a letter to the MPs, which we're going to do, it has to get through their staff. And so what we need is we need you guys. We'll make sure the letter's on our site. We need you guys to get a copy and email it to your MP and say, we want you to attend. And we want you to tell us about it. And we need you to phone their offices or attend their offices and let them know about the charter, let them know about the event. Because part of the problem, as I say, about sending information to MPs is it can get lost in the noise because there's so many communications. And if their staff, which are doing the screening, don't appreciate the significance, it's lost. So we need your help. We want a whole bunch of MPs for this historic event, and we want your MP, and you want your MP there,
And we want you.
and we want you there.
And
we
your
look
vehicle.
forward to seeing your trailer.
We look forward to seeing your trailer. And actually, we actually think we actually saw behind our van that's being pulled on a trailer.
And this is pure copy.
Yeah, what's that?
A bus on the trailer.
Yeah, we actually just saw a bus on the trailer, and then we saw the red Corvette here on the
It's an
trailer.
Audi.
Red Audi. The only thing is it needs decals. So on that happy note, we're somewhere. We're on our way to Winnipeg. Yes. That's the sign says.
Even through the challenges, the world's greatest health van keeps rolling, carrying the message of freedom, faith, and resilience across this vast country.
Hello, it's Sean and Teresa Buckley with the NHPPA, and we are in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Thunder Bay. So, yeah, we've driven for about 5.5 hours this morning, and
It was early.
it was
very early.
and here we are. So we're just doing a check-in. Teresa, what did you think of the event in Charlottetown last night?
Oh, I was amazed when we did it remotely, and we ended up panning the camera around, and the room was full. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how many people they had expected, but it was pushing 100 for sure in a small shop, and clearly they had tons of questions that they needed to get answered regarding where natural health products are in relationship to their safety and availability.
Yeah, so we're going to make it to Sault Ste. Marie tonight. We've got about another 7.5 hours of fun driving together.
Only seven. Only seven.
Only 7. Yeah, so I think it's going to be about an 11.5-hour day of driving. This is our longest day, and then we're going to Collingwood. We have an event in Collingwood, and then off to Barrie. We've had an event now in Whitehorse. We've got one in Moncton coming up, Quebec City. Fredericton. I'm sorry, Fredericton. So go to nhppa.org if there's any way you can attend one of the live events. And we will see you all in person in Ottawa on October 25th at 1 p.m. on Parliament Hill.
And I'd just like to remind everyone that the live streaming starts daily at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, with opening statements. And then we have Highway to Health that starts 1 p.m. Pacific time. And you won't want to miss both of them.
And in between, a whole bunch of great presentations by ordinary Canadians telling their health journey and experts. So we'll see you on the Health Show.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing all the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly, sweetly through the night, and the mountains in reply, echoing their brief delight.
The tour continues to grow, and now all three highways are officially activated. The Red Highway launched at the Root Cellar in Charlottetown, and it was a packed house. The energy was electric, and the East Coast made it clear that they're ready to defend their right to natural health. That event airs tonight, right after footage from my Purple Flyway event in Whitehorse.
Don't stop. Keep dancing. Move to the beat. Dance all night. Keep clapping. Keep
Meanwhile, the Blue Highway kicked off in Quebec City with two powerful French language events, both filled with passionate voices standing for the Charter. Those will air on Wednesday on an all-French day. 3 highways, 3 regions, 1 shared purpose to carry the Charter of Health Freedom straight to Ottawa. Here's what's on deck for today's World's Greatest Health Show. Dr. Stephen Malthouse defending informed consent and patient choice.
And you also get quite a few insights into the current medical system, the threats to the current medical system, and particularly the threats to, I would say, the threats to sort of adjunctive, what we might see as adjunctive therapies, but myself, I came to see as really essential and main therapies for treating people successfully.
Yeah, and we're going to go into your journey in a little bit, because you started just practicing as a medical doctor and going down that purely kind of, I'll call it the mainstream medical road for a period of time. Can you talk about that a little bit? Some people might not even have heard the term allopathic, let alone understand that we have a model that's allopathic, which means we treat symptoms, we don't cure, we don't treat the disease itself. And it might be helpful for this discussion for people watching to understand, well, what is our model, and why do we name whole categories of drug as anti this, anti this, anti that, as opposed to cures? Like,
yeah. Well, the term allopathic actually came from Samuel Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy. Allopathic and homeopathic. One means going against disease, against suffering. That's the allopathic, which is the anti-group, let's say. And then homeopathic, which is like suffering, or seeing that the body's symptom pattern is really a reflection of underlying disturbance in an attempt to get better. So in conventional medicine, we have antihypertensives. 90% of people are thought to have what's called essential hypertension, which means that we don't really know why they have it. So we just try to block the symptom. We don't ask ourselves, well, why would this person and not that other person have high blood pressure? And so what we are doing with most conventional drugs, particularly chronic disease drugs, is we're trying to block the expression on the surface of the body or in some organ system of an underlying disturbance, which is the regulatory system not being able to successfully put the person back on track health-wise. And so that's why we have antihistamine, but we don't say, well, why? We might know, it's a bee sting or an allergy to some substance the person was exposed to. But we have antihypertensives, and we have anti this and anti that, because we just see that what the person expresses, we think conventionally that is the disease. But in fact, that's the expression of the underlying disturbance, and we're blocking it. And therefore, we don't really have the satisfaction, the pleasure, and which aligns with our initial goals in many cases, to see someone be cured of the disease.
Bob Dixon, from family medicine to fighting water fluoridation. Bruce Dales offering insight into how integrative medicine could be the future of natural health products.
As far as my company goes, yeah, we do drug applications, but probably the specialty we have is that if there is a product on the market right now that a company wants to expand into a better version of the product. When I'm saying that, not necessarily formula, but have more GMP status on the product and more claims on the product, we tend to be very good at taking what I would say is winner products and making them better. And I think that the thing that is most concerning to me when we're talking about natural health products, the only time I get worried about them isn't when they're manufactured in Canada and under the standards that you're mentioning, Sean. My concern is if they're imported. If somebody looks online and they're imported from a third world country by third world manufacturing standards, and they're just sent directly to the customer here without any testing, and these people can say anything what they want about the product, they can put anything they want on the label, and nothing's really checked on it. So it's interesting to me that Health Canada is threatening and really going after natural health product companies within Canada that go by the standards you're saying, but at the same time ignore the natural products coming over the border like that, or they don't, in my opinion, they don't do a risk-based analysis compared to, as you're talking about, the pharmaceutical industry as well. To me, and I think you mentioned this in your charter, Sean, that there needs to be a risk-based analysis before taking a product off the market.
Judy Powers speaks on extending life and dignity for her mother.
She had taken 1/3 of the amount and she couldn't handle it. And he said, that's what we're told to do. So she has to have this amount, whatever. Anyway, her health deteriorated and it came to a point where the doctors said, you can take her home, but I can tell you she doesn't have long to live, 3 days to a week. And I thought, wow, why didn't I take her home earlier? Because I could see she wasn't being fed. In a hospital, if you can't feed yourself, you don't eat. So if you're in a care facility or a group home and you have cerebral palsy, people feed you. And there's a method. They have tongue thrusts. There's ways to feed people. But if you're an old person in a bed and you can't feed yourself, in this experience anyway, she wasn't fed. So she came home. They sent her with a bed and a commode, and they rolled it in. And I took out her big bed. We put in this hospital bed.
How did she look at that state?
That we all have the capacity to give to each other and love each other. I think she would say that we have to change what we think is important at each moment in our life. There's always, I would rather be doing this, I'd rather be doing that. But when you have this moment, you have to recognize it's very special and to engage and embrace it, because it's why we're here. It's this moment. And Mom said, whenever you have an opportunity to help somebody, that is a gift. And there, she's teaching me all this stupid stuff. And it's true. And I say that it is a gift. Somebody gives you an opportunity to rise up and to help them. So it is, if people could change their next trip to Mexico or their next thing that they're doing to help some aging person, or somebody in need, it's that can be as fulfilling as your next tennis game. Or maybe you can do it all. Try to do it all. Like help somebody, go do a fun thing. But I think that's what I learned. I learned that you got to grab these moments because then they're gone.
Justin Victor delves into healing skin and pain through natural therapies and neuroacoustics.
Justin, you have an interesting health journey, and I'm wondering if you can share that with us, kind of, what the issue was and, how long it went on and how you, well, I guess just start telling us what it was and what you tried to do to solve it.
Yeah, it was about 4 years ago when I noticed a lot of superficial skin eruptions, so acne. And it wasn't just face, it was shoulders, back, it was nowhere near localized. And At the time, the only thing that was offered to me was steroids, essentially to suppress what was going on. And I knew, because with something like that, if anyone's ever had that, it kind of wrecks your sense of self-worth, which impacts how you relate to everyone and everything that you're experiencing in the world. So I knew already at that point, I just had a feeling that that was not a solution. I didn't even count it as something that would be useful. And so I probably struggled with about 2 to 3 years, just trying to go through it, trying different topicals, things touted as natural, essentially cosmetic things. And so at that time, I had actually recently graduated from the University of Alberta with geology. And it was my intention to be employed in that field, which, I was excited about, looking forward to. But I knew that with the skin issue that was going on, that sense of self-worth that was really just depreciated so extensively, I would carry that with me no matter what I did. It was also in that time that I was struggling with a lot of pain from years of bodybuilding and overtraining. And so without having any solutions with that from different professionals I consulted, specialists.
Can I slow you down a little bit? So
yeah,
we'll go back to the skin issue first.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not something that's going to be readily apparent until the body, starts showing different symptoms. So there's been a lot of talk about different micronutrients and macronutrients and what exactly to put in, which really isn't too much of our business to try and figure out if we had a balanced diet with regard to the foods we're naturally growing. But we have to think about it at this point because, like I mentioned, if the soil quality is quite depleted from pesticide use and poor farming practices, then we have to have some way to make up that difference. And supplements are the only way you can do that, as far as I know. There's no other substitute for them.
Yeah, and just, some people watching might not understand what you're referring to, but basically a long time ago, the plants we would eat, the fruits and the vegetables would be filled with vitamins and minerals that they've absorbed from the soil. But because of the way we farm, they only contain a fraction now of what they used to. So we're actually not getting, a lot of the time, we're not getting what we need from our food.
And as mentioned, tonight's show includes a special double feature, my Whitehorse event from the Purple Flyway, followed by the Charlottetown Red Highway launch from the Root Cellar. The next leg of the Red Highway takes place tonight in Fredericton, New Brunswick, at the Killarney Lake Rotary Centennial Lodge. That event will be taped and aired in the future, so don't miss it. Meanwhile, the Green Highway continues west to Collingwood, Ontario, where tomorrow night's live event is shaping up to be huge. Collingwood and Barrie, Ontario are still in a friendly battle for the title of biggest show yet. So here's the challenge. If you're in either town, grab your tickets, bring your friends, and let's see which city can make the most noise for natural health and freedom. That's it for today's update from the Highway to Health. From the open roads of Ontario to the shores of Prince Edward Island and the mountains of the Yukon, this movement is connecting Canadians like never before. You can follow every broadcast, every event, and every update at nhppa.org/live and find your city's tour date at nhppa.org/join-the-tour. I'm Jason Dahl, and this has been the Highway to Health Day 17 of the Health Charter Tour. We'll see you tonight for a special double feature, and tomorrow for more from the road, the van, and the movement that's bringing Canadians together.